next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Well, this is a very, very important down for the Cardinals. As they trail 7-0, they just made a change at quarterback. And this is a play where you'd like to say, hey, guys, whatever it's going to take my offensive linemen, we want to hug those blocks and make sure we get some surge. No penetration so we can pick up this first down.
Garrison Hurst is the setback directly behind Mike Book. But there and less than a yard. Play action. Buck across the middle. The 5. Larry Centers.
Oh, that's a good play call. That is a good play call by Dave Atkins, and that is good execution by Mike Buck. You know, you bring in a guy that hasn't played all last year. Everybody, including me, is expecting him to run the football, and what do you do? It's a little play action, and you throw the ball to your most dependable receiver, Larry Centers. In the first half, they fooled us. They run a fake punt, and then on 3rd and 1, the most critical third down play of the game, they throw the ball to Larry Centers.
2-minute warning. 1st and goal, Cardinals. 1:57 to go, first half. 7-0 Eagles lead it. Cardinals with Mike Buck, the backup quarterback, in, have a 1st and goal at the 5. Blitz again. Larry Centers tests the left guard spot, and he picks up about 3 feet. Went over Duval Love.
Well, you know, Buddy Ryan was saying he likes the matchup. Ernest Dye, his left tackle, against Mike Mamula, the #1 draft pick, 7th pick in the entire draft for the Philadelphia Eagles. They tried to run left that time, but Centers really kind of cut it inside, and they stayed away from Mamula, who's had a very credible first half.
Backs are split again. Hurst to the right side, Centers to the left, directly behind Mike Buck. 2nd and goal. Larry Centers, about a yard.
That's a run to darkness. I mean, there was a little hole there on the right side, a soft spot. Larry Centers ran right in the back of his guy, never saw it. And, you know, take a look at this. There's going to be a little soft spot that ends up on the right side, but Centers gets some early penetration, doesn't see it. And then he gets stuffed by Govea and Andy Harmon. And here's where you'd love to have, you know, big old experienced tight end to throw the ball to, but they don't. The Cardinals do not.
Wendell Gaines, a converted defensive end, is tight to the left side. 3rd and goal. Buck back, lobs it right side, incomplete for Hurst.
Yeah, that was not a pretty play, folks. That was not a pretty play. Even if it had been completed, he would not have scored. So they waste a great opportunity. It just doesn't look like Mike Buck is comfortable in his drops. I mean, I know the backup quarterbacks don't get many snaps in preparing for a game, but it just looks uncomfortable.
Greg Davis is on to try and get Arizona on the scoreboard. The kick is up, and it's good.
Well, Vern, they get 3 on the board, but, you know, Buddy Ryan's teams generally don't score a lot of touchdowns. And you look at the Cardinals under Ryan, they have had 5 games where they have scored no touchdowns. That's, you know, out of 17 games.
When they have gotten 2 or more, they've won, as you saw, a 6-2 record. Here's Mike Buck, Dave Craig, Dave Atkins.
Well, it's nice to see Dave Craig is still involved in the game. I mean, it hurts your pride to get yanked like that when you're a 16-year veteran and you're a proven guy. But he's not pouting. He's over there trying to help Mike Buck, and you have to appreciate that about Dave Craig.
Among the other notes in this first half, Eric Swan in the locker room with a sprained right knee. That's the early diagnosis. Eric Hill with a bruised calf. Both of those for the Cardinals. And on the other side of the ledger for Philadelphia, they lost 2 players as well. Lester Holmes and Kevin Turner, both with knees.
So now actually the Eagles have nobody on offense that started in the same position they did a year ago. None.
Right.
There's 2 starting receivers split sides. There's no starters from a year ago playing the same position.
Kelvin Martin has the kickoff. Got some room to the 39-yard line.
No, Vern, if your offense can't do it, sometimes your special teams have to step up and make a play. And anytime you have Kelvin Martin, you have a chance of making a play in the punt return game and in the kickoff game. Danny Smith, the special teams coach, said, hey, anytime we give him a chance, get him that first block, he has a chance of making something very good happen. Got a couple of blocks there. Didn't waste any motion, took the right ball right down the gut, right down the heart of that kickoff team of the Cardinals.
Rodney Peete in relief of Randall Cunningham is 1 of 4. If you joined us late, Randall Cunningham got the hook. Here's the pass down the middle, tipped by Seth Joyner.
Well, Seth Joyner is a guy that is always in his career created a lot of negative plays. And we've seen linebackers in this game with beautiful timing in the passing game. Haven't we, Vern? I mean, Romanowski, and then this time, Seth Joyner. I mean, Seth Joyner is a guy that prepares. This is no accident that he has made all these plays over the years. I mean, he spends a lot of time, all day Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, watching tapes of the run one day, the pass the next day, and he knows where people are going to be.
Second down and 10, and Peete is back to throw again. Goes across the middle for Martin. That's a big play to the 44. Kelvin Martin. And time is called.
You have to be able to find the passing lanes in this offense, too. I mean, it's 3 steps, 5 steps, and then get rid of the ball. He finds a crossing Kelvin Martin, which is a good kind of route against man-for-man defense. You want your offensive player running away from the defender, this time Ben Smith, number 26. A well-thrown ball by Rodney Peete, and they have a first down. Yeah. Kelvin Martin just kind of bounces off Ben Smith right over the middle of the field. Good passing lane there for Rodney Peete to find him, and they pick up a first down.
Gain of 17, and the Eagles also use a timeout, so they have 1 left with 11 seconds to go. 7-3 the score. The touchdown came on a pass interception return by William Thomas. First down and 10. Back split. Peete. Fred Barnett. They'll have a chance to target the field goal.
Call timeout. Call timeout. I tell you, what concentration, though, by Barnett. That ball was tipped, Vern. I mean, a lot of guys adjust to the ball when it's in the air, and Fred Barnett is one of the best. Incredible body control. Again, Peete looks off. The ball gets tipped there by Bankston and maybe also McCants, and then Barnett makes the adjustment. This guy is one of the premier receivers in the league. He snatches the ball. I mean, he didn't wait for it to come to him. He goes and gets it.
And how did he spend his Saturday afternoon?
Watching U.S. Open tennis. Yeah. He wasn't watching any college football.
Gary Anderson has a chance now to pad the, or add to, not pad, but add to the Eagle lead. This will be a kick of approximately 42 yards, maybe 43.
Well, he's got the kicker's face mask working there, didn't he? I love these face masks these guys use. Clean helmet. Obviously, hadn't made too many tackles thus far this year. And he's working with a new holder, Tom Hutton.
An old snapper, John Hudson. And it'll be a 43-yard effort for Gary Anderson. That kick looks perfect. And it is. So the pass play from Peete to Barnett sets up Gary Anderson. And despite the fact that the Eagles haven't scored an offensive touchdown in 1995, they do enjoy a lead at the half of 7 points. It's 10-3, Philadelphia over Arizona.
To cover, why don't we run the no-huddle highlights? I can't do it alone, so I summon my partner, Mark May. Mark, you ready to run these no-huddle highlights?
Let's let him rip.
Okay, buckle up. Let's go. And we start out in Big D. Where else? Dallas. Mike Shanahan and the Broncos looking to start 2-0. But the running game was cooking for the Cowboys. Not Emmitt Smith. Look at Troy Aikman on the keeper. Aikman near the goal line. Over Braxton. Hurdles in for the touchdown. Look at Dallas win 31-21. They're 2-0. Got a job to do. They're going to do it, baby. Indianapolis set the New York Jets. Rich Kotite's 0-8 in his last 8 games. Could he go 0-9? The Colts come back from a 21-point down deficit to force an overtime where Mike Kofer connects from 52 yards out for the game-winning field goal. Colts win 27-24. Atlanta at San Francisco. That might be the stick. That might be Greek-Town Stadium, but it really doesn't matter when the Niners meet the Falcons because they do go to work. Jerry Rice with a football. Jerry Rice with the touchdown. One of 11 catches for him. San Francisco 41-10. Jacksonville at Cincinnati, a game for the ages. Another big day for Bengal quarterback Jeff Blake, throwing 247 yards today and a pair of touchdowns. This one 68 yards to Carl Pickens. They've connected all season long. Bengals win 24-17. Seattle at San Diego. The Chargers trailing in this game 10-7 in the fourth with Stan the man. Stan Humphries is going to go to work. Humphries with a pump. Humphries with the throw. Ronnie Harmon on the other end for the touchdown, 15 yards out, and the Chargers come back 14-10. They're a winner. Miami at New England. Keith Byers watching with a slightly sprained knee. They really didn't need him today. He sees Terry Kirby with the option pass to Irvin Frye for the TD. Fryer had 2 touchdown receptions today. Miami wins and wins big in New England 20-3. Detroit at Minnesota. Warren Moon. How's that shoulder? How's your friend, the guy with the axe? Up by 3 in the fourth quarter, and Moon gets a little help. The tip pass, and Kadri Ismail does the rest. 85 yards, second longest pass play in Minnesota history. The Vikings holding Barry with 35 yards at a 20-10 win. The Carolina Panthers at Buffalo. Frank Reich returns to Buffalo, and it was a tough reunion. Kurt Schultz, Sergeant Schultz's son, picks off the pass by Frank Reich. Returns at 34 yards for the touchdown. The Bills win, and win they do indeed at Buffalo. Rich Stadium 31-9. New Orleans at St. Louis. The St. Louis Rams. And the Rams, well, the town is all excited about the return of pro football there, and they should be. Even the Melonheads were getting fired up about it. Look at the base pads, or the bases there. They had some turf problems. Jim Everett had some throwing problems. The ex-Ram picked off by Todd Light. The return is 30 yards for the touchdown. St. Louis is 2-0, the Rams, 17-13. The Giants coming back this week after getting trounced by Dallas last week at Kansas City. Giants defensive lineman Keith Hamilton picks off the pass. He rumbles, bumbles, stumbles down the sidelines. Will he make it? Will he go? Will he get there? I don't think so. That 290 pounds is starting to pull on him like an anchor. They're going to catch him at the 2. He fumbles the ball, but the Giants recover. But Lynn Elliott wins the game in overtime for the Chiefs with his 23-yard field goal. Kansas City wins it 20-17. Mark Macon caught him right back there, I think. Pittsburgh and Houston and Mike Tomczak in for the injured Neil O'Donnell, but special teams making a difference. No Rod Woodson in there, no problem. Andre Hastings making like Woodson, finding the sideline. Nice move. And 72 yards on the punt return for the touchdown. Pittsburgh 34-17, a winner. They're 2-0. The Oakland Raiders return to RFK Stadium in Washington. Gus Frerotte is in for the injured Heath Sluler. But it wasn't enough for the Skins as Derek Fenner hauls in an 8-yard touchdown pass from Jeff Fosstetler. The Raiders go up 2-zip this year. They win 20-8. It's been 10 years. Has it really been a decade of the dog pound at Cleveland Stadium? You bet it has, and they were yelping today. Vinny Testaverde, the ex-Buccaneer, burning his old team. Keenan McCardle, one of 2 touchdowns for him. The Browns win 22-6. Good job.
Halftime in Arizona. Let's take a look now at the Riders game summary as the Eagles lead it by a count of 10-3. Both starting quarterbacks, Dave Craig, Randall Cunningham, pulled in the second quarter. The only touchdown thus far, a William Thomas interception return for a touchdown, 37 yards. And if you're a Rodney Peete or a Mike Buck fan, you got to be
You see a lot more of them.
surprised.
But Vern, you know, I don't think either one of us has ever seen a game where both starting quarterbacks were pulled, and it was a close game. As a matter of fact, there was no score in the game when Randall Cunningham was pulled, and then Dave Craig was pulled. His team was trailing 7-0. And it's fine if you have a plan. All I'm saying is these guys are going to have to lead this team again this season. And if your coach doesn't believe in you, it's hard to lead the team.
Well, as you said to me during a quiet moment at halftime, this will take Ricky Waters out of the spotlight in Philadelphia for a week.
It sure will. It sure will.
Philadelphia will receive the kickoff to open the second half. Kelvin Martin and Charlie Garner are the deep men, and Greg Davis will kick it off. Kelvin Martin. Darkness descends on the Valley of the Sun, and here's Charlie Garner at the 5. Gets it out near the 27-yard line. And that'll be first down and 10.